Funny story. I wore number 4 in college. That was my basketball number, and I wore that number because that was well. I'll take that back. I wore number 4 in high school. I'm sorry. I wore number 4 in high school because that was my uncle's number that he wore, who went to Vanderbilt. He wore number 4. When he went on to college, he changed his number, but I wanted to keep my number at Georgia Tech, and I remember the assistant coach Dean Keener, saying, "Hey Mario, what number would you like?" And I told him number 4, and he said, "Hey man, we already got Chris Bosh that's his number, and for me being naive and a little cocky, I believe in myself. So I said, you know what, coach? I said, man, tell him, man, I'll play him one-on-one for that number. And coach, he laughed it off. He was like, no, man, that's his number. Mind you, Chris is a scholarship. He's a 5-star recruit, going to be a one and done, could really come out of high school. And here it is, a guy that's walking on to the team that doesn't even have a scholarship, talking about, I'll play this 5-star recruit. So I remember getting on the campus and my first time seeing Chris, and I'm like, he's like, hey, my name is Chris Bosh. And I'm like, okay, I see. Hey, man, that number 4, man, hey, you're going to do some special things with that number 4. So ultimately, they gave me number 5, and I wore number 5. But to answer your question, like, I didn't know. But I will say the person that did know was our leader, and that was Coach Hewitt. Coach Hewitt knew exactly what he got. And I think he and his staff did a phenomenal job of player development, getting guys to better, but more importantly, to buy in. Because as you mentioned, we had guys that can fill up stat sheets. We had guys that can score. We had guys that can defend. We had guys that can do so many different things. And he was able to control everyone's ego and get the best out of them collectively so that we can achieve one thing. After the first year with Chris Bosh, and I started to see the things that we had and everything like that. And then we had my big brother, Clarence Moore. He came back and joined the team, who was very instrumental because he provided that physicality, that toughness. He added to what we already had. I was like, you know what, we got something very, very special. And even when we made our tournament run, we weren't like getting too high. We didn't get, too low or anything. Obviously, we were running games, but we were like, okay, look, man, like, wow. And then I think when we got to Kansas, we was like, man, you know what? We can actually win it all. You know what I'm saying? So it was a bit of a shock to us too as well. Not that we weren't good enough, but just, it's a lot of things that got to go on for you to make it all the way to the national championship. You're talking about injuries, the ball has to bounce your way. In our first game, I think against Northern Iowa or something like that, we only won maybe by like 5 points. Like, it's a dog fight. It's all about matchups. So a lot of different things have to go into play and work in your favor for you just to reach the final. Anybody can get beat on any given night.